IVM.
We would like to thank Storytel for sponsoring this show. Storytel is an audiobook platform that lets you hear hundreds of thousands of stories on your mobile, on your PC, wherever you prefer. You can get a great deal by signing up at storytel.com/IVM. But before I tell you what the deal is, let me make a recommendation for you for your first book. When you go to Storytel, search for James Clavell. He has a number of books, but I'm going to recommend Shogun to you. Shogun is the story of an Englishman who's shipwrecked in 16th century Japan and how he struggles to deal with the culture, gets embroiled in the politics of the land. It's a great story, and if it wasn't enough that you can get just this one book, James Clavell's Asian Saga has 5 more books on Storytel. So go to storytel.com/IVM. You can get your first month at 99 rupees a month instead of 299. That's 200 rupees off on your first month. Storytel.com/IVM. Go check it out.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Alright, it's called Cyrus Says. Sorry, once again, broke my old record. We are 47 seconds behind the schedule, and I blame that on Kunal Vijayekar adjusting that topi. I'll come and talk to him about that in a minute. He believes less is more, so he covers as much as he can. I don't know why. What a beautiful face. Don't waste it. However, my rant is slightly different before we start the show, and that is huge news coming in from Gujarat. In the last few years, this is a prohibition state, of course, alcohol is banned. In the last few years, women's consumption of alcohol has gone up by 50%. In spite of the fact that there's prohibition, ladies are consuming more than 50% more than they used to in just the last 2 or 3 years. That's just a fabulous piece of news. So here's my point. I think in India, if you ban something, it does really well. I mean, whether it's gutka or alcohol or, dance bars, they all do flourish afterwards. So just ban things. So I think I'm going to ban this podcast. Hereby and henceforth, this is a banned podcast called Cyrus Says. And the banned list of guests include Silvery, banned for life as a comedian. Amit, banned for life as an entrepreneur. Kunal, banned for life just for being Kunal.
Whether you're an established sports person or a budding one, or simply a sports enthusiast, join us, Tanvi and Shlok.
We are 2 passionate pro badminton players talking policy, mindset and everything sport.
So tune in to the Millennial Athlete every Monday.
Only on the IVM Podcast Network.
Trust us, it's gonna be lit.
Kunal, thanks for joining us on the show. I know you're very busy and today's your shooting day and you've got to get into many avatars. But Amit, please thank him personally because we pay all the other guests. He's the only guy. Actually, we just nod and say, "Chalo, theek hai, come join us." Yeah.
From the beginning of the podcast, when you first started podcast, which is, I think, 18 years ago now, I have occasionally appeared as a free guest when you had nobody else. When you had nobody
Don't put yourself down. We chose to have you at least on one of those occasions. It's not fair.
No, we massively appreciate all the times that Kunal has been a guest.
Kunal is actually one of our most requested guests. We get emails and I get DMs. Please get Kunal Vijayekar on again. He has been on.
Yeah, it's Vijayekar, is it?
Serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah.
Chalo.
But Kunal, in cricketing terms, you're a concussion substitute. If our guest gets injured in the head brain area, we are allowed to bring in a last minute guest, a like for like replacement. So you are replacing, I think, Amish Tripathi as this is the information I have right now. Not to say that he's brain injured in any way. He's a lovely guy, but just to say that you've come in. Let's release it this way. Saif Ali Khan couldn't make it. We're very close to getting him on. He couldn't make it, and so another Bollywood icon, from a famous family. Well, your Vijayekar family is equally famous as the Patowdi family. But because you claim descent, right, from William the Conqueror, so you're also royalty.
Yeah, but Silvery looks a hell of a lot like Saif Ali Khan. He could be a stand-in for him at any given point in time. Look at him, no? I thought it was Saif Ali Khan.
You made his day. I actually could see
it. Really. Right next to him, it would be even nicer.
Okay, That's it, guys. I'm out. Thank you. I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah. Kunal, are you freezing? No?
Yeah, he is. He's freezing on and off. It's
Okay. So this normally, if you were in Doordarshan old days, we'll just go into Calabar. We can't go to Calabar. So what we'll do is we'll focus on the other 2 guests, or rather the 3 of us. And Kunal, if and when your Wi-Fi is strong enough again.
No, it's good. His voice is coming through, even though the video is sometimes occasionally freezing.
But Kunal, it's not about audio. Audio is horrible. It's this visual that we need. It's the beautiful face that launched many brands like Parag Saris, if I'm not mistaken. Kunal? Okay, he's good. All right. Amit and Silvery are also with us. Let's not waste any more time. Our prattle for 5 minutes has been unnecessary because we've got some very juicy topics today that we've unearthed through our research team of Silvery, 3 Pomeranians, and the liftman in his building in Powai. Go ahead.
All right. First, we should start with Donald Trump got impeached historically for the second time. This is the first time ever that a US president has been impeached twice. But by the House, not by the Senate.
Because the US expert immediately, Dr. Doshi, because I don't think he's impeached. The Congress has passed a resolution. It has to go through 2 houses.
So they've served articles of impeachment. Now there has to be an impeachment trial.
All the media, digital and print, are just running out with this title saying, headline, because it's catchy, saying impeached and impeached again. Yeah, the process to impeach him has started. He is not impeached.
Correct, right. No, so articles of impeachment have been served, right? I think that's what this is, so that there will be a trial, which was not a given a few days ago.
Right. Now let's go back to our expert, Amit Doshi again. Dr. Doshi, do you think he will be actually impeached in the sense of fully impeached?
Very unlikely.
Okay, quickly can explain the process. 2 houses involved.
No, so there are 2 houses involved. There are multiple trials that need to be done. A Senate trial. Senate is not in session until like the 19th of January.
After the coronation.
Well, I mean, like it's the day before. So, I mean, like, the chances of an actual impeachment happening, like,
Is Unni's peace, to use the phrase? I'm so sorry.
Amit, is it the same thing as that the House has impeached him, but the Senate won't impeach him? Is that what the articles of impeachment is?
So there has to be a trial, right? Impeachment implies a trial. So that is not happened yet, right? This is notice that we're going to do a trial.
But Amit, isn't this been voted on? The fact that these impeachment articles have been whatever.
Yeah, so they voted on that.
There's a vote. There's a vote on this.
There is a vote. There is a vote to serve the impeachment. House of Representatives.
Yep. And they have some Republican support this time.
They do.
That.
Have you understood, everybody? A vote to do the process has been formed, not a vote to actually impeach him, even in the Congress, which has to be carried. Then the second house has to be carried, and it'll be on the 19th. The second house on the 19th of Jan, one day before the,
And there's no time for a trial.
But listen, technically, when he's no longer president, it can't be an impeachment.
Well, so that's actually one of the big arguments going on right now, right? I've been reading like a bunch of conservative arguments around that, where there is deep disagreement on what that means, because it says the president may be impeached. It doesn't say anything about ex-president. It says president. But at the same time, it also could mean that for actions conducted as president.
I'm no longer the president. You can't touch me. It'd be like that.
One of the reasons why people are pushing for impeachment, even if he's no longer president at that point, is it precludes him from running again.
I think that's really what they aim to get. Yeah. They're not expecting criminal charges to stick and him to go to jail and things like that. They just want that. But can I just quickly interrupt the proceedings and go back to what I think is the more serious issue here? While the 3 of us on the panel are okay with the framing, Kunal, for some reason you've gone the Hitler way, with the top angle looking into your face. And it's
actually, I'm a bottom angle.
Bottom angle, looking up into your face and making you look like a god.
But it's the nature of my stand. I could go here.
It's the converse of what he has at home, no?
Yeah.
When he's at home, it's like from here. It's from down.
Then it's like Lord Zeus. And he never shows more than the neck for some reason. Oh, God, what kind of show we've got today, Silvery? This is very amateur. You're drinking stuff in the middle and misbehaving in the background.
It's water.
How do I know it's water? Call your mom. What the hell's going on? Okay, so that's the impeachment. Just to put it in perspective again, nothing has happened except the process has been started. Let's see where it goes. Amit Doshi, our resident expert, says unlikely to have an impact beyond 2 weeks of name calling and saying impeach him.
Well, right? You never know, right? Again, because there is apparently Mitch McConnell, the Republican leader, is game to do the impeachment this time.
Yeah.
So picture, Silvery, somewhere even at the end of the podcast of Mitch McConnell. Because I don't want any confusion. Our viewers.
Mitch McConnell is the Speaker of the Republicans.
He's the Senate majority.
Yeah.
The Republicans' House will not do anything. They are still very much in Trump's pocket.
My cousin, Joe Rogan, always has his producer cutting to picture. I don't see Mitch McConnell's picture. I don't want
Mitch McConnell's picture.
Where's the bloody picture? There are people who think Mitch means Stark. Okay, or Marsh, the cricketers from Australia. And you guys are not giving us the picture of this gentleman who's a Republican head going against his former boss in a sense.
After the Georgia Senate elections, who's got a majority in which house now?
Democrats have in both houses.
In both houses.
Then so they have the House by a proper majority, and the Senate is 50-50, but the tie-breaking vote is the Vice President. So that's Kamala Harris.
Correct.
Yeah. But secondly, it's 66.6% to pass Kunal Vijayekar, Matt's extraordinaire. So unless they get 66%, even if they have a simple majority, is not enough. They have to get everybody, at least about 15-20% of the people from the other side to vote. And how do we know that every Democrat will vote as well? It's not like a given.
No, I think that's a given. I think right now
5% of people who curry favors and all, we never know. I'm in human nature.
Both the houses are dominated by the Democrats. Then why should there be a problem?
They're not dominated. They have a simple majority in both. It's maths, Baba.
Fair enough.
How do I explain it to you? No. Come on, put your fingers up.
But look, Cyrus, you got 9 extra Republicans voting against Trump on this impeachment thingy, okay?
They might be able to get it past the House.
There's hope.
Yeah. There's a possibility. Yeah, it's much more likely now than it was last year.
Yeah.
Last year was a non-starter, right? When they did it last year, it was never going to happen because Senate was not going to do it.
See, roughly 20% of the other 50 they need, which is 40% of the Republicans to be safe to get a vote passed in their favor. 40% of the entire Republicans to vote. I mean, many will abstain. I don't know. This match may not add up. People are getting very excited.
So my question hence is, how can newspapers be claiming that the only president in the United States to ever get impeached twice? He's not been impeached even once.
The process of impeachment has been tabled against him. That they don't write it correctly. This is why I tell you, Vijay Kunalkar, head of the advertising industry of India, you advertising fuckers, all you know is 2 lines and never go into the substance and you never dig deep. And because you don't, the story never,
So what you're saying,
you and you don't have the actual story. That's why I hate advertising people and I don't allow them around kilometers of my house.
The newspapers are being advertising people.
No, I'm saying that
advertising people are meant to be advertising people. When the newspapers become advertising people, therein lies the problem.
Okay, if you argue with the host, I will have to mute you.
That is.
Herr Goswami has explained to us that is the only way to work. There can be only one rationale.
No, but you're right. I mean, like, it is articles of impeachment has never been served to 2 presidents before, or twice to a single president before.
Isn't that what they should be saying?
They should be.
But they do in the fine print. You read the full article. Listen, let's not waste more time on this because I think it's gathering a little bit of storm rather. But let's see what happens. This has got to play out, and we are there on this show.
Yeah, we won't know until we know.
Yeah. We'll get some inside information from that swimmer, something Keller, who stormed one of the insurgents, so to speak, who stormed the Capitol last week.
Hey, you said Keller. This just reminded me. Did you know that there are a whole bunch of people who think that Helen Keller did not exist?
What are you saying? It's like Auschwitz did not exist.
Yeah, no. Isn't like it's a serious movement. There are serious.
Are they all blind?
Unnecessary.
I
walk out on grounds of insensitivity, and I will not accept.
So this is like a weird story around how social media myths persist, right? Somebody made a TikTok video, okay, which was somewhat of a parody, which was saying that if Helen Keller is blind, deaf, and dumb, how can she write a book? Right, that was the kind of this.
What about the whole Braille format?
Yes, that's exactly it, right? And so, because of that, it's something like about 20% of kids under a certain age believe that Helen Keller was a myth.
Where do you get these figures from, Amit Doshi?
Man, I read a real article about this, and then because this is apparently something that's been going on for a while, I was just amazed. I can't believe that what nonsensical this we have.
How does it start? It starts with one WhatsApp, I'm supposed.
Well, it was a TikTok.
Anyway, this would never have happened in the 70s. Everybody knew that Helen was a famous dancer actress. It's all changed now.
Yeah, see, if you search for Helen Keller right now on the news, you'll see there are a bunch of articles about it.
I think this is all headline grabbing because, again, it's exactly like the Trump story. The headline just says this and they give you 80% of people and 40%.
The way I came at this was, I think somebody I follow on Twitter was astounded by his family WhatsApp group. People were like, pushing back when he was like talking about Helen Keller that no, it's an entire myth. She never did anything. The other people wrote her stuff.
Okay, all right.
Basically, they're not disputing whether she existed. They're disputing whether she was actually challenged.
Right.
Like she was a normal woman.
Was she a hoax? Yeah.
She didn't do what they said she did, which is including flying a plane, which I didn't know, and which, frankly speaking, not to be insensitive, wouldn't want to be on
Helen Keller flew a plane?
Yeah, even I didn't
leave it, guys. People are on that line. We're on that line now. Please leave it. Come back. We're supposed to be the liberal army, the ones who allow for everything. Yeah, we're the people vomit on. That's our role in society. Let's move on from Helen Keller because it's like an impasse.
It was a diversion, because I think you were talking about cricket. You mentioned somebody Keller in cricket, no? Which is why
in the insurgency, I like to call it insurgency, the movement in the capital, capital, on the last week. There was a 6'6" bearded guy who's been identified as a 3-time gold medalist who was in the 2000 Sydney and 2004 Atlanta Olympics.
Oh, really?
And Michael Phelps' teammate in the 4x200 meters relay. 3 gold medals and a couple of silver as well. So he's a serious athlete. And then he's been sacked from the job, or he has resigned with effective immediately, said the company. And they're after him now because apparently, like we discussed, the right to privacy, his internet footprint is filled with pro-Trump right-wing messaging.
Right.
Quite vitriolic.
I doubt that you would fire somebody for being pro-Trump, right? 75 million people vote for pro-Trump. You get fired for basically attacking
white power.
No. They've given a statement, the company whose name I can't pronounce because it sounds Swedish. And the only Swedish company I know is London Blockley, and I don't like to say it. I don't know why. I'm not getting into that. So the point is that they've given a statement, the company that employs him, saying, while we support free speech, exactly what you said, and the right for dissent and argument and everything, we will not allow people to break the law, which is to enter, attack, break, destroy. It's exactly what we said. I mean, how can we have it both ways? Either we're democratic people and we allow people to show dissent, but violence and things like that is, that's against the.
That is that's the point at which it's very easy to make a decision.
But the point is, he's got now the police are taking action against all these people, and they're putting together. You were an insurgent, and you have these. Should we say separationists? They're carrying the Confederate flag and all. It's a slightly separationist tendency, and I don't know. You can look at it as anti-national, can you not?
There is, the chairman of the Texas GOP, this was in November or December, he actually did say that, if Trump's not going to win, then we should succeed. Right. And it's surprising. It's a guy named Alan West. He's one of the few black Republicans in high profile kind of this. But this language is coming out all the time nowadays because in the US, the fact of the matter is that the Republicans are very unlikely to win the popular vote in any time frame in the near future. The only chance they have is through the Electoral College, which is why this was so dumb. Right, this idea that these guys, all these Republicans are going out and disputing this election is such a dumb idea because the only way they have to become a president is through Electoral College.
Well, if they replace Donald Trump with LeBron James, they may win.
Well,
you've got to get the right guy at top. Right?
That is true.
Am I right?
Yeah. That is true.
Okay, guys, we need to take a quick break. Then we'll come back. I know everybody wants to talk, but today we're on the clock, unfortunately, because Kunal and I work in a circus with street performers. Don't ask me which street. But it's a street next to you, unfortunately. We'll take a break and come back.
जिंदगी डायरीज के पन्नों में कुछ पुरानी यादें, समुंदर किनारे झूमते दरख्त, जवान दिल की धड़कनें और अनजान मुलाकातें हैं। तो आइए खोलिए मेरे साथ जिंदगी डायरी के पन्ने और साथ ही खुलकर जीते हैं जिंदगी। आप सुन सकते हैं जिंदगी डायरीज IVM पॉडकास्ट ऐप या वेबसाइट पर या जहां कहीं से भी आप अपने पॉडकास्ट सुनते हो।
Okay, we're back. We interrupted Kunal. He opened his mouth, and I hope it wasn't a fly. You were saying something. You were trying to say something.
No. I just wanted to speak about the last statement that Amit made, which is the Republicans will never win the popular vote. But
not never. He's in the near future.
No, in the near future.
Yeah.
But isn't then Donald Trump the only chance they've got to actually win the popular vote?
He's not won. In either of them, he's not won the popular vote.
But last time also he didn't win. Very small margin, no?
The only time the Republicans have won the popular vote is George Bush versus John Kerry since Clinton.
Really?
Yeah, but
7 out of 8 elections, they have lost popular vote.
That's hair beating a fruit.
Yeah.
Bush beating a Kerry. What we didn't... Sorry. It doesn't require that kind of convulsion. It's crap. Kunal, one thing I don't know, someone has to investigate this. Who was the Desi guy? If there's one Desi guy in that insurgency or revolution or rebellion, who was that one?
He was a New Jersey shop owner.
But why was he there?
Because he's a pro-Trump guy.
But he realized that they'll be doing all this.
Yeah, he was. There are a significant number of Indians who are just as nutty for Trump as any other.
Organized on the internet alone. It's not like they had a flesh and blood meeting where they discussed, we'll do this, that and the other.
But think about Cyrus. If there is a Trump meeting happening outside the White House, they've all gone for it. Okay, from there it takes on a new shape. Everybody just carries along with their flags and their things, and then suddenly this becomes into an actual.
I just don't get the immigrant. Obviously, it's more complex and layered than I think. But why does the immigrant want to support Trump? Because when you look at it, one of his 5 big things is anti-immigration. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's very clear.
No, the big thing is they think they're going to turn socialist. That is the big thing. Why is my hard-earned money going to the poor people of America? That is the big problem Indians
with the Democrats, you mean?
Yeah.
Is that right, Dr. Doshi?
No, he's exactly right.
Oh,
yeah.
1 point for you. First time in 7 years.
No, all the Indian friends that I have given me rich Indian friends in the US.
You don't have any poor Indian friends, neither here nor there. So don't categorize. What angle is he a socialist? Really?
So on the 20th of January, they have declared a state of emergency in Washington, D.C. because of the inauguration. They're sure there will be riots and all otherwise.
Are you serious?
Federal buildings are in danger, is what they're saying.
In 50 states? No, only in Washington.
Only in Washington, D.C.
50 states they're expecting.
Can you guys not argue? This is not Arnab show. What's the truth?
Both of them are true. So, state of emergency in Washington, also an expectation of protests at all the state capitals.
Be on alert, is it?
Right.
All state capitals.
All state capitals. You know what I found was really, I just read this in the morning today. Airbnb, the place where you book all those houses and stuff like that, they are not renting any houses in Washington, D.C. on that day.
But the enemy is within. You don't have to travel from state to state.
No, people do travel.
No, they do.
You can find the Trump supporter in that state.
But not as many. Trump supporters come from outside the city, right? They are outside the Northeast mostly. Most of them are coming from other parts of the country.
So it's like an animal species. You can actually go to an area outside the city and say, okay, this is where the grey wolf now is last lair. So we can find them there.
If you go, so I have family who lives in Virginia. My brother lives in Northern Virginia. I have cousins who live in Richmond,
there must be a tax rebate there for some reason. Because
it's a DC suburb, man. It's a Washington DC suburb, right?
DC becomes DC suburb.
Well, DC you'd be surprised. Virginia is a DC suburb now. I mean, oh my God, it's insane how many Indian people there are over there.
Only our people actually say that with contempt. Huh? No, oh my God, how many Indians are there?
No, it's surprising to me. I look at my family, right? So my family, when I moved back from the US in '97, there was one person who had moved to DC at that point in time. We now have 8 houses in my, first cousins kind of this, all living in DC now.
And that's just your immediate family?
Yeah, my immediate family has grown like that. Everybody from all over the place. My brother moved there from Delaware. My cousin moved from New York. Another uncle moved from Houston. One cousin moved from Richmond.
So the Doshi family not that fond of staying back in India?
The Doshi family is, so my dad was one of 6 brothers. 2 were based in India, 4 were based in the US.
Ooh, already?
That generation. And then since then, the 2 uncles who lived over here they're all descendants are mostly here. One daughter is married over there and I live over here now. So my dad will go over there.
We've upset the other 2 panelists who want to discuss their families for 5 minutes.
Okay, please do.
In the show. Please, Silvery, tell us.
Kunal, how's going? Yes, Antrish, where's your extended family?
Yeah, I have no family called Doshi in America.
Silvery, you?
Yeah, most of my family is in Delhi and someone in Chandigarh and then some in Bombay.
Nobody made it to Canada?
A few in America now.
Canada?
A few in America. Canada, no, I don't think so. A few in London. A few in America. But,
you're killing the stereotype. You're a Punjabi. You have to have some Canadians.
Yeah, there's some Canadians, I guess not. I can't think of anyone right now in Canada, but I'm sure there must be someone. But
okay. So all of us seem to have a leg somewhere. My sister's in America. Everybody's got family either in the States or, well, at least Chandigarh sector 54, which is far away from Mumbai.
Huh? I don't have any close family in America. I have
they don't identify as family because there's certain reasons. They spoke to me offline about that. I don't want to get into it. But there is family by blood, but not by spirit. Please understand. Right, sorry. Let's go into the next story.
Let's do, I'm seeing a bunch of questions for Kunal right now in the chat.
Hey, let's go to the Kunal questions.
Yeah. So Kunal, best restaurants in Bombay right now?
Are they same?
Very difficult. Very
under lockdown conditions. That's what he means.
Under lockdown conditions?
Yeah, because right now.
Sorry, just this question's from Vader97.
Vader97. She's a former Miss India, 1996. Really hot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Olympia has opened in Colaba.
Olympia's open right now?
Olympia's open. You can go there and eat.
Okay.
Martin's is open. You can go there and eat.
Yeah, these are very hardcore non-vegetarian options. And what is the right? Less affluent restaurants. If I don't want to be insensitive, which we love.
If you want to, but if you want to be affluent, there's a wonderful bar called the O Bar, which is opened at the Oberoi, which is half open air and half closed.
I've heard
on the sea.
But what do you get to eat?
But fantastic, nice food. Nice food,
like continental.
Basically. No, mixed snacks and all kind of stuff. But it's a great bar.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. I heard it's a nice place to go to.
Yeah.
I haven't been there.
Very nice place, yeah.
Antrish, you want to go through some of the other questions?
Yes, sure. This says, Shailesh BG asks, have you guys tried South Indian food? If so, what are your favorites? Like, of course, everyone's tried South Indian
Everybody's tried South Indian food.
What is
what
it?
Are your favorites?
South Indian is such a huge cuisine.
Yeah.
Most people are more specific about racist. North Indian, South Indian. Give us more examples which make sense, I would say.
I'll tell you South Indian food. You get really great beef chili in Kerala. You get really good mutton stew in Kerala. You get a great pork vindaloo in Kerala.
The most number of biryanis in Tamil Nadu.
You get about a variety of 5 or 7 good biryanis in Tamil Nadu. You get Andhra food, which is seafood.
Have you noticed the racism here? It's called vegetarianism. His anger towards people correlating South Indian with vegetarian. It's a bugbear, personal bugbear of his, because how dare you? There's more non-veg food in South India than you know. There's more non-veg than veg food. But because we are, there's just 1 or 2 classes of society who consume the veg food and we're around them, we get the wrong idea. That's his point.
Because we only talk about idli dosas and medu vadas. It has to be more.
Mangalorean food. Do you guys
literally. It's literally one area.
Bangalore, okay, let's talk for the vegetarians. Bangalore is near Udupi. Udupi is where the masala dosa outside the Krishna temple was actually invented. So they claim.
And you were there. You were there because this happened many, many years ago. Really. Not saying it's one of the gopis, but yeah.
In the Mangalorean, there's a huge Christian community as well in Bangalore. And they do great fish curries. And
you're gone. Your veg thing was 30 seconds. Gone. Within 30 seconds, Idli, Dosa, Krishna Temple, Jai Hind, and then back to non-veg. And the Christian community makes a fish curry. And I see. This kind of partiality will not be tolerated. Our sponsors are all vegetarian. You show some respect. Give me 5 more veg dishes from South India or you're off the panel.
The minute you talk about anything that is coastal, there will be seafood. Now, any coastal city in the country, whichever state it is.
I mean, what a dumb community it would be if you live on the coast and say, we'll just get food from the market. Why go there?
Vegetables.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So everybody, please do help us out with our survey if you haven't filled it out yet. It's on ivmpodcast.com/survey. This survey is really helpful for us. And, fill out the survey completely and we'll put you into a lucky draw and we will send you some IVM swag. And what a great week of episodes we had and what an eventful week we had. Let me run through some of the episode highlights really quickly. On Paisa Vaisa, Samir Nair of Applause Entertainment was on to discuss the web series Scam 1992. Great conversation with Anupam was had. Do check that out. Bhavish Sumaya of Hasbro was on Advertising is Dead. On Positively Unlimited, Chetna is starting a new series from A to Z. This week, Align. Do check that out. And on GabyCD, Farhad and Sunitra asked the question, what if they were straight? Interesting conversation. Definitely do check that out. I think you'll enjoy that. And one piece of news for you guys. Cyrus Says is now live on YouTube every weekday at 10 a.m. If you go to our IVM Podcast YouTube channel, you'll be able to catch us over there. And stay tuned for a lot more video content coming out in the next couple of weeks. And with that, let me get you back to your show.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
Silvery, next question.
Waiter97 asks again, is Madras Cafe at King Circle overrated?
Oh, God.
I don't think that's... I don't... No.
I think it's very nice.
It's value for money, but is it worth waiting so many hours? Sometimes you get in, maybe not.
Well, nothing is worth waiting so many hours.
Yeah.
Even for the best food in the world, I will not stand in a queue.
The love of a good woman is worth waiting for 3 to 4 minutes. So, you have to judge by that.
And honestly,
they make coffee.
It's decent. I mean, it's good. It's fine. It's okay. But I mean, to be a little bit on Kunal's side, once you're doing idli, dosa, mendu vada, it's all the same, man. This shit's not that different.
No, their Mysore masala and all is so lovely.
It's a little more than that.
It's a 2-3% difference because these are all commonalities.
You go to any of the places which do good, right? I mean, would you take Madras Cafe over Dakshinayan over,
Dakshinayan, definitely. You're talking about our neighborhood.
The one over here, yeah. Or the one in
Madras Cafe much better, yeah.
No, Dakshinayan. I actually like Dakshinayan more.
So just lazy because you can walk to one and you can never reach the other.
Can I just say something?
You're getting excited.
There are slightly upmarket South Indian restaurants, okay? Like Dakshinayan, where the quality of the dosa itself is done far more with butter and all kind of stuff. Okay, it automatically starts tasting better. But if you go for things like pongal and the rice preparations that you get at say Cafe Madras, they're not available in most other places.
Right.
So therein lies it's a little more authentic.
What's not available? Butter?
No, they don't do butter dosas and all that.
What the hell are you talking about? What is the great difference? I'm not able to understand the ingredient difference.
There is because
specify and tell me what is the difference. So sitting in
things like status and all are created for the Gujarat market. Okay,
and somewhere else.
Are created for the South Indian market.
But they twain meet, don't they?
Well, the recipes are meeting, but
pav bhaji, Gujarat market is slightly sweeter. If you have to generalize, slightly sweeter.
You will get a pav bhaji dosa in something that is catering to the Gujaratis. You will not get a pav bhaji dosa in Dakshina.
But I have never eaten a pav bhaji dosa anywhere. I don't even think of... Where do you get pav bhaji dosa?
Discussing the divisions between South Indian likes and dislikes and Gujarati likes and dislikes is this bloody Maharashtrian who with a British accent who lives in Dadar with Parsis. So I'm a little, this is not the right jury for me.
Look, status, for example, was not created for South Indians to go and eat traditional food. Madras Cafe was. That is what I'm saying.
So I'll say this, I like status, but I don't think of status as great. I don't think of it as a great idli dosa. So I like it though, it's good. You know, I mean, like, I'm happy to eat there.
Also pronounce it properly, it's status.
Status.
Okay.
Silvery has known this, by the way. Powai boy, he was in Beach Candy, but he's forgotten all his South Bombay things, and Matunga is far away from him. So back to Powai, yes.
Okay, one more question. It says, this one comes from Sushant Pawar. He asks, I have a question for Cyrus and Kunal. Have you guys ever tried to grow a beard like Silvery or Amit?
Kunal has grown a beard once, I think, that I remember.
You know, I hate shaving. I would have loved to grow a beard. Unfortunately, once a week I land up playing a woman. So I can't.
But women have beards. I'm married now 20 years. But they have beards. And many of them have what I call the Genghis Khan beard, which is more like, it starts from the bottom of the lip here on the side and starts, that happens for sure. And then it becomes more bunchy.
I hate shaving.
Why is it always about you?
Because I'm the guest. You're the host.
When you like an pompous guest, I hate. Talk about the other people in the world. The Gujaratis on one side, the Southerners on the other side. They don't understand. Who the hell are you? This grandiose figure who's pontificating like some huge, fat, bloody Mandarin who's never worked in his life. Your feet have never touched the ground. You're carried in a palki everywhere you go. It's ridiculous. This is a discussion we already had.
Yeah, don't start with that.
Yeah. What was the question, Silvery?
Why do you grow a beard?
Why don't you grow a beard? Have you ever tried to grow a beard?
I can't. I don't get a full beard. I have too much estrogen. So what happens is it's just all over the place. I just look like John Abraham's sister. I'm sorry, he doesn't have a sister, which is just like a meaning. I love you, John. John, animal lover. Yeah.
You think John Abraham is watching your show?
100%. One of our dedicated followers. Entire Abraham family. And I mean Abraham, all the way to Lincoln, anyone with the word Abraham in the family. Yeah, I can't grow a beard, but Amit, it suits Amit. Of course, it makes him look a little bit like the Home Minister, and why not? That's a good position to be in, especially when he needs to get his passport done or something. And he goes in and he just says, hello, just one word, sir, stamp. 20 years visa, 40 years visa. Imagine he goes for LPG, whatever.
Joe Biden is president again, visas might be denied.
Is it so? This whole Republican loves India and democracy. I mean, isn't it just stereotype?
It's not true, but no. Joe Biden was fairly vocal against Modi at the time of the Gujarat riots.
But can I ask you a question? If he's vocal against Modi during the Gujarat riots, what has it got to do with average Indians who are applying for visas?
Nothing.
Well,
no, but coming back to that, but the politicians, their conviction is always a little. That was 2002. This is 2022 coming up, and there's a lot changes. So I don't think we should.
I don't think that Indian relationship with America is going to suffer as such, right?
And now you've got a president who's going to look at the Faida Kya Hai, which is the American way, right? Morality be damned. I mean, if that is the issue.
And also, relationship with China is significantly different for both countries, right? And I think that's going to define how both of them approach each other.
The good thing is he knows that China and India are not the same country. With Donald Trump, outside America's knowledge beyond Mexico was very thin. North Korea, he embraced thinking that's all part of China, which it is in a strange way. So he was correct. So from what I gather.
Can I ask a question of Amit Doshi? Amit,
you can call him on his personal line because this is a forum that we all talk.
Considering that this administration has got hardly 7 days left, why are people like Mike Pompeo and all making huge policy decisions?
Because they know
they shouldn't.
They should. Well, I mean, like they're lame ducks at this point. This is the definition of lame duck president or lame duck Congress or anything, right? Generally there used to be, and again, Obama broke this norm as well, right? But there used to be a norm that post elections you don't do anything major. right? But that norm is being broken by everybody.
Look at it this way. If Shimaru was closing down in 3 days, you try and, your money's all been wasted because you prepaid. You might as well get as many tapes as you can and watch as much as you can before they close down. So it's like that final wave.
You're exactly right. These guys are trying to push as much of this stuff in as they can right now and try and get as much done. A lot of it will get revoked immediately, right? Because again, the thing is,
it's all reversible, no?
Yeah, well, so everything that's done by executive order is reversible by executive order.
But look at how Iran bounced left and right between the last regime and this. I mean, immediately there was a turn change. But listen, we have to go to the AMAs because Kunal has to dress up as a...
Well, we've been doing the AMAs for the last 10 minutes. So we should take a break. Yeah. Well, I mean, we are pulling questions from the list.
Okay, fair enough. So this is the continuing AMAs as part host. I think Sylvie is the main host. I should have been informed. I'll put up a brave face. Our fans, John Abraham, Saif Ali Khan, a couple of others. Their domestic staff who are forced to watch with masks on. Right, Sylvie, one more, quick.
All right. There are a couple of interesting ones actually. Cyrus, describe your biggest fist fight. This is from Sahil.
Fist fight. Oh, I did punch a guy last month coming up the one way. Yeah. Amazing.
So tell the story, dude.
Nothing. He brings the scooter up. Maya was in the car with me. So I stopped the car like that. And I get this rage when these guys do it. And when I said, "Ye one way hai," so he looks at me, "To kya?" And from there, it just disintegrated. And then, as my Hindi galis failed me, Kunal does that, by the way. He used to go from Marathi galis to English galis to Hindi galis. He would just, because he couldn't cope with any one language. And that would upset them on a class level, because you're showing your linguistic bias and all that. So, I don't know. It reaches a point where whatever. Luckily, after I hit him, all the watchmen around were there and they all are my people. So he was put on his scooter and sent back. But I did make physical contact. Not good. Don't do that. But the pain, the anger goes out. In a way, it's therapeutic. So I can understand people who do violent acts sometimes. Because immediately you feel better. But then you feel bad, but you feel better. It goes. Unless it's trapped inside and you take it out on your wife or somebody else later. So in a way, good. But when we were drinking, we had some terrible stories. Kunal was so badly behaved. He's picked fights with everyone.
No, I only got beaten up. I never hit anybody.
That's okay. They didn't ask you if you won or lost. Okay. Our score's not good. I accept that. It's like 48.
I'd walk out of the bar with a swollen face, not knowing why somebody's hit me.
Yeah. Generally would be a really middle-aged to a senior-aged lady. Because he'd place his drink on her thigh. That was his go-to move. Looking lovely today, madam. He used 70s terminology for executing the move. With
it was the 70s.
That's true. It was the 70s. Yeah. Fist fights, terrible. I'm actually a physical coward, but I do have an impulse control. I generally do not want to hit anyone or fight, or I'm scared of everything. But I have impulse issues. And when I have an impulse issue, I don't know it's happened and then it's done. But I also cool down. My fights with my wife go on forever because I'm cool in 2 minutes and she doesn't talk to me for 10 days. That's how the marriage survived, actually. 1 day talk, 10 days off. 1 day talk, 10 days off. 3 days a month. Almost like a mini period for me, male-wise. Yeah.
Well, what about you, Amit? Did you ever get into a fight?
I've got into a few, but nothing too this, right? I mean, I got into a fight once when I was in college at a bar where there was this guy who basically, so a friend of mine was there and she was being a little harassed, it wasn't like groping or anything like that.
But, yours is a heroism.
No, it wasn't a heroism. It was basically, justice. I just pushed him like this, that stay away, and then he swung and then I hit back. I mean, so it wasn't like a fight, if you will.
It was still knight in shining armor kind of fight.
No, Kunal, it was choreographed. There's a push, there's a punch, another punch, cut 2 birds in the sky, come back. It was fun for the family.
I have never instigated a fight.
I don't think I have either. I think I've always been actually, I guess I did instigate that. No, but the guy was being a jackass, right? But I pushed him first.
The difference between me and Kunal is intolerant, but I'm a truth. There's a little difference. And that difference is important because while he is intolerant, impatient, and always bad-tempered, he doesn't hurt anyone really. But I think impulsive people, we tend to get
I have learned over a period of time to be able to walk away from situations.
You don't hear. You don't have the periphery. I pick up when someone stares at us on the road, says something. I've been picking up from college.
I don't think it's worth my while to get angry with that.
That's because you don't enjoy the repartee.
Away.
I wish you would enjoy the repartee. I love people staring. If you're walking with a lady and someone stares, I love because I just turn and stare at them. And then that's just a beautiful thing in India because they don't know what to do suddenly. Because they don't expect anyone to stare at them. They'll look at the girl. And then there's a Mexican standoff this way. That's great fun. And then you mouth off. You tell the girl, look at this tooth. He's staring at me. I'm staring at him. Wow. And so he can hear you. This is the kind of prick I am. But Kunal is a beautiful man. I think of Mother Teresa, nothing less. Florence Nightingale. He's a good human being. He feeds the poor. He throws the food, but he feeds them. From a running
I'm seeing another question.
And he throws the vada pav. And sometimes just to increase the athletic ability, he throws the pav separate and the vada separate, and you charge for it. And you see the survival of the one who's hungrier.
So I'm seeing a question which I think is really interesting. Is from Denin Varikasari. I hope that's whatever. I'm not even going to attempt to spell that pronounce that correctly. But I think that since we have Kunal, it's an interesting question, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the street food tastes better with sweaty and dirty hands? Do you think that there's anything to that?
We just had this conversation last night. Talk about God. We just had this conversation about the sandwich. Remember, with the ladies.
No, but I think street food made well tastes really, really nice.
But is there anything in that legend that pee and the sweat and all that? Is there anything?
No, but
because we've had this conversation. Nobody can explain why we can't take the simple sandwich which we all love from the road. What is it? Kachumbar, pyas, what is it? Tomato, beetroot, what is it? It's all the same thing, butter, chutney, and we can't make it at home as well. Why?
Yeah.
Even dosas. Even dosas
are similar, yeah.
Because the person is different, the ingredients are different, the proportions are different, everything is different. So then your green chutney and his green chutney will never be the same.
So if you can get a wife from some other house and you try to duplicate it with your wife and it doesn't work, why can't you?
Will it ever work, Cyrus?
Wife from the other house in the first like I said. Mohit's going mad. Kunal, Mohit's going mad. Amit, we have to stop here. Okay, Kunal, thank you so much for being on the show. And
pleasure.
We really wanted you, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, man, Kunal. Seriously, appreciate it. And we'll continue to take advantage of your kindness.
Every Thursday you can. Thursday, never fear. If anyone drops out, we're here. Okay. All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps. Please, we beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter, on Cyrus Says In. Or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
What are some of the radical changes that are now shaping our workspace? With physical distancing and heightened safety protocols being the norm, will technology finally make its large-scale entry to the workspace? Will design as we know it change for the long term? Is it possible for the Indian commercial real estate space to adopt a 360-degree approach to sustainability? Join our hosts at the Future of Space podcast by RMZ as we deliberate with industry leaders, analysts, and bright young minds on the way forward for the workspace given the new COVID normal. Tune in to the IVM Podcasts app or wherever you stream your favorite podcasts.
Feeling overwhelmed, anxious, struggling with too many obstacles, don't know where your life is headed? Well, if you are dealing with one or all of these, tune into the Positively Unlimited podcast, because in each episode, I share a life lesson, a life hack, a pro tip that can help you get your life back on track. All episodes are available on the IBM website, IBM Podcast app, or wherever it is that you get your podcasts from.